Okay, the last exercise is 3 sets of deadlift to row. So I don't know about where you guys are at, but a deadlift might sound intimidating, but it's not. There are a lot of different types of deadlifting. Let's find a good spot. So a deadlift, the purpose of a deadlift is to work your hamstrings, the back of your leg, and the more bent your knees are, the more we get on our quads and in our glutes, but the less we get on our hamstrings. So if we can keep our legs relatively straight, then we're going to target the hamstrings a little better. So a deadlift, I have a 15-pound kettlebell. So just a regular deadlift is going to look like sending the hips back. My knees are soft, but my legs are relatively straight. So I'm sending my hips backward, and when I get close to the floor and feel like I'm going to arch my back in order to get the rest of the way, I'm not going to arch my back. I am going to bend my knees just a little bit to get to the floor. Okay, so then when I want to come back up, I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to straighten my knees, and then I'm going to send my hips forward, and I should feel it in my hamstrings. So I'll do that from the front view. I'm going to send my hips back. My legs are straight. And when I get to about here, I'm going to bend my knees instead of rounding my back forward and collapsing. So that's kind of a very brief overview of deadlift. Deadlifts are meant to be typically heavier because you may not feel anything until you've got a heavier weight. If you don't have a heavy weight, which a lot of us don't, this isn't heavy at all, we are going to opt for like a single leg deadlift. So that's engaging balance and your hamstrings. So instead of doing both legs, I'm going to take my standing leg. So this is going to be my deadlift leg. And I'm going to take the opposite hand, opposite arm, and I'm going to keep that leg straight. And I'm going to bring my kettlebell down to the floor right in front of my toe of the planted leg. And then keeping my leg relatively straight, I'm going to come back up. That's all. So I'm going to go from the front. I've got my left leg is planted, the kettlebell is in my right arm, and I'm going to come down. I'm going to let my leg go back. And so you should feel a burn on your left leg. And we'll do different varieties of this as we go on. We can do a left leg planted and then the right leg just hovers, but it doesn't go back. That's a different kind of hard. We can also do trailing leg goes back and then we switch and then we come back up. These are all things that work balance and hamstrings. And now I've added a row component as well. So not only are we going to do a single leg deadlift, would be ideal, and then coming back up, we're going to do a row. So that's elbow out to the side, rowing up. I'm keeping the weight right in front of my chest and sending my elbow up. So notice, if we're going to combine a deadlift with a row, we have to have a weight that we're able to lift up with our shoulder. So for most of us, that's probably not going to be any more than 15 pounds, 20 pounds. So deadlift to a row, that's what we're starting out with. Single leg, so you can engage your balance, and then rowing up at the end. So I'm going to do the full movement. Okay. So here's the side view. I'm going to go left leg deadlift, right hand weight, let my right leg trail backwards, and then I'm going to do a row at the top. And that is the full movement.